ago, the whole month of February was well below the normal by 10 to 12 degrees. That's cold when you're dealing with normal highs in the mid-20s and lows in the single digits. But fast forward to this February so far, I mean, we're really anywhere from 14 to 20 degrees above the normal. And so you look at that, excuse me, you look at that, that's a near 40-degree difference. Our highs today will be in those mid-40s. If you're in the eastern half of the side of the state, well, I mean, it's the 30s. Why? It's the same frontal boundary we were talking about this time yesterday. And so that hasn't moved much, and that is why we do have that temperature difference across the state. Lows overnight do go to those mid-20s, maybe some clouds into the overnight hours, as well as today with that partly cloudy sky. So we should be seeing more clouds develop. Frosty conditions, once again, too, for areas in the north where we do have calm winds, clear skies, and that's kind of the trend as we go into our Thursday. So today, a barely noticeable south wind. Tomorrow, that is a west wind. That's going to ease in more sun. That's going to ease in those temperatures still in the mid to upper 40s. Fast forward to Friday, near 50 degrees. I think we could get there in the capital city, but once we go to areas in Williston and Minot, we could be tying a temperature record. And so that shows how warm it's been. It's been this record, warm lows and then the record highs really for the past week. Now we fast forward to the winds, a lot of good numbers out of here. We like when the winds are light, when we have mild temperatures like we're having, but we keep going to Valentine's Day, still light winds. But as far as that day goes, I mean, you can't complain. 48 degrees, winds at that point could be about 10 to 20 miles per hour from the south, but it's the sunshine. That's really gonna make a difference. So I've been showing this all week long, that temperature trend, and as we keep going another day, we're starting to really see that drop in temperatures. So, more of the 20s, a couple of teens out there and some 30s once we go into the middle of the work week. But we're also looking at a potential system developing somewhat on Tuesday and into Wednesday. So we're in the middle of a ridge right now. That's why we're warm. But as we talk about the upcoming weekend, that ridge starts to become a trough, still warm though, but then the trough really takes place in the middle of the week, as well as kind of setting up for that favorable pattern for systems to develop. So we'll see what impacts we are going to get as we're still figuring out the pattern. So we're still ways away here, 7 to 10 days out. Once we're a little bit closer in time, we'll paint that better picture. But in the meantime, 1 to 3 days out, we'll get even more of that picture. And so you know how it goes, right? When we talk about those snow systems, as of right now, we do see something going. But the other thing that we're starting to see is the flowers blooming. This is in South Bismarck. Thanks to Brent for sharing here, as well as Lake Minigoshi. Maybe some ice fishers out there. Things are still melting though because the sun angle is getting higher. Light winds, as we've talked about, which you can't beat that, Sarah, because the weekend is still comfortable with those light winds. It's next week where the winds will be picking back up.
That wind makes quite the difference.
Especially this time of year, it really does.
Oh, thanks, Heidi.
Thank you.